This is quite a difficult video to make. Lately I've been questioning, who am I as a creator? What do I want to do? I've honestly been thinking for a long time, like, what do I want to post? And I never feel content and satisfied with what I've posted. The greatest feeling of my YouTube videos so far has been, I made a video about after high school, when I finished high school, and everyone, I was shitty about everyone asking me what I wanted to do. I didn't want to go to university like everyone else, and everyone else kind of was pushing me into it, and I got really angry and I made a video. And the greatest feeling that I've had so far was when my friend said, one of my friends, not my friends, his friends, said that they watched your video and they felt really relieved after watching it because they felt like they weren't the only one. And the thing with feelings is you're never the only one, you know, and there's so many situations where you think, oh my god, like I'm the only one feeling this feeling. And what I wanted to talk about today, feelings that I went through in high school. To be quite honest, to be straight up, like it was the shittest and best time of my life. I think it was the hardest time that I've ever felt, because I'm not saying that these are the feelings that everyone is going to feel, but if you felt these feelings, if you're feeling these feelings, like it's normal, it's okay. You don't have to feel these feelings to be normal. I remember in year 9, I've been brought up with really good morals and I've been brought up with really good values about myself, and I remember year 9, all the girls were doing things with boys that I didn't want to do. I never did what they were doing to fit in, but I remember just feeling like a complete outsider because all my friends were dating boys and going out with boys and talking about boys, and I had no interest. Like, not because I didn't like boys, but because I was 14. So I remember sitting there every day at lunch and my friends were talking about, like, oh my god, he's so cute, like, oh my god. And this went on for a while. I felt so peer pressured by everyone else. Like, I even remember my friend saying to me, like, oh my god, you must be a lesbian. And I remember getting a boyfriend just so that I would feel normal. I was made to feel like, because I didn't want anything to do with boys, that I was weird, that I was different, that I was abnormal. But I wasn't. Like, I was just me, and I just had my values and my beliefs. As year 10 came along, like, things got worse. I lost a lot of my values and what I wanted as a person, and I remember sitting there at lunchtime. Like, I just remember the feeling of just sitting there and thinking, why am I doing this? Why am I sitting here? Why am I listening to this? Like, all my friends would sit there and all they would do was bitch about other girls. Like, they'd be like, oh my god, she's so ugly, god, she's so fat. And I just remember sitting there, what do they talk about when I'm not around about me? And I remember going through this huge thing, like, I'm not good enough. I need to start wearing makeup. I was in year 10. I was 14, 15. And I felt very behind because I wasn't doing what my friends were doing. But in fact, I think I was a lot more ahead than what they were, because all they were trying to do was they were trying to mimic what they were seeing the older kids do, and they thought that that was cool. 14 was a horrible age for me. 14, 15, 16, horrible. Absolutely horrible age for me, because I went through so much questioning of who I am as a person, and like, I didn't want to be that person. I didn't want to sit there at lunchtime and gossip, but I didn't want to be the girl that was a freak. I didn't want to be the girl that they were gossiping about. Like, I was scared. And that's the truth. I believe that life is about learning, and I believe that life is about growing. I remember thinking, what do I need to do for me? It isn't about what everyone else wants. Like, this is my brain. I've got to do what I've got. Like, it was a huge turning point for me, because I was like, I've got to be who I want to be. I've got to do what I want to do. I've got to do what feels right, and I can't live like everyone else is living anymore. I've got to, there's a point, and I'm way past it. Like, I've got to be me. And I remember leaving that group of friends, and they didn't even notice that I left. I remember getting up one day at lunchtime and walking off, and no one even questioned it. And I spent a whole year sitting in, like, the art room doing art by myself, just so that I didn't have to talk to these people that I didn't want to talk to, and I didn't have to get involved in this bitchy drama stuff that I didn't want to get involved in anymore. I remember feeling like a complete and utter loser. I remember just feeling so different, so stupid. It was the worst. I just completely alienated myself, and in that time I got to know myself a lot better. You never know what people are going through. I was really kind of insecure and really vulnerable at that point in my life. Obviously it didn't just go away, like it was a long kind of healing process, and I think in some ways I'm still healing. But spending the last 9 weeks by myself has really made me go, it's really made me think a lot, and instead of knowing other people all the time, it's made me know me, and it's been the most important 9 weeks of my life. So then in year 13, this is kind of just like going through it fast. There was this group of girls who would just take the absolute piss out of me. And I think that was because, you know, I don't care. Now I can finally go, I don't give a shit. You can say whatever you want about me and I don't care. I can quite happily say that. I used to say that, but it really hurt me inside. They would just take the piss out of me because I am different. I know that I'm different. I'm not trying to be like everyone else. Like, I'm not trying to be anyone else. I'm just me. That's always been really hard for me to kind of understand, I guess, because I spent so many years of my life trying to be other people, and now that I'm finally me, it's like, oh, who is this person? I knew that my morals and my values and my beliefs as a person, what I have been brought up and taught to do, I wasn't interested in what they were interested in. I wasn't interested in going to parties every weekend and sleeping with all these guys, and I wasn't interested in doing that. And like, if they were interested in doing that, that's fine. Like, that's cool. Like, you do you. That's what you want to do with your life, and that's your beliefs and your morals and your values. That's cool. That's you. But that wasn't me, and I remember just still having that kind of feeling of like, oh my god, like, I'm so different. I tried to kind of continue the facade that I was putting on so that people weren't like, oh my god, I didn't want people to notice me. I hope this is making sense, because like, it's all kind of too much in my head and not enough out here. But I remember just feeling like absolute pure shit. I wanted to quit school. I wanted to just stop. Like, I absolutely could not stand going to school every day and people looking at me like I was a freak, looking at me like, she's so weird. And that always made me feel so self-conscious. And I remember the looks and the stares that I used to get. But I'm me. Like, I know that I'm different. I know that I'm weird. I know that I'm not like every other 18-year-old girl. Like, I'm different, and I'm happy with who I am. Being out of that environment, I wish that I could tell myself back then, like, who cares? Who actually cares? I wish that I could honestly tell myself they're not gonna be around in 2 months. I wish that I could have just said, people that are mean, like, even look at me when I would sit with and gossip about other girls. I was so insecure about myself. Because people don't like you, and because people don't get you, and because people talk about you rudely or meanly or in a way that hurts you, they're insecure about themselves, otherwise I wouldn't be talking about you. And that's the honest truth. Every one of those girls that I used to sit with and they used to bitch, I know that they're insecure about themselves. They're still the same insecure person that they were back when they were 14. I don't want to just go through everything and just leave it and not make it a positive thing. Because, okay, the advice that I want to give you out of this video, and the reason that I've made this is not some like sad sob story that, because it's not that, it's much more than that. Like, the advice that I want to give you is, you do not have to be what everyone expects you to be. You don't have to be what everyone expects you to be. No way. You don't. You know, deep down in your soul and your heart, like, and your being, you know who you are. You know what you want. You know what your values are, your morals are. You don't have to be like your friends in order to fit in. Those friends that you have when you're 14, like, I'm just going to be so straight up, those friends that you have are probably not going to be your friends in another 2 years, in another 3 years. And I never ever would have thought that. In intermediate, even in primary school, I remember thinking, like, these friends are going to be life friends and we're going to live together and crap like that. Some people are friends. I'm not saying that that's a definite, okay? Let's, like, you could still have the same friends that you did at the start of high school, the start of primary school, I don't know. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I wish that I didn't try so hard to be like my friends, because I thought that that's who I was. I thought that I was no more than the people around me. Daniel is like a huge person in my life, like a huge impact, a huge influence in my life, and he's the first person out of all my friends that I've been able to be unapologetically myself around, like the first person that I could just be completely me. And then from there I started making other friendships with like my other really close friends that I have now, and that means more in the world to me than anything. Like, as soon as you start being what you want to be, you'll start getting what you want to get, you know? I have the most amazing friends back home and in France, you know, amazing relationships and connections with people now, because he made me realize that I didn't have to be what everyone kind of expected me to be. Like, he let me be me. The moments that I stuck up for myself, the moments that I did what felt right for me, are the moments that I look back on and go, like, I'm proud of me for doing that. I'm proud of me for knowing what I wanted in that moment and not succumbing to what everyone else wanted me to do. So that's that. That was like a little confession session. I didn't want to do like a little disclaimer at the start of the video, but I will end it with this. This is speaking on behalf of myself. I realised that I'm not Jenny Craig. I realised that I'm not Jeremy Kyle. Like, I realised that I'm not Oprah Winfrey. I realised that I'm not gonna like solve all the world's problems. I am just speaking on behalf of myself, and I guess telling myself what I wish I could have told myself, if that makes sense. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all the people that have made me who I am today, and you know, that's not just the people that have treated me nicely. If you're watching this and you used to rip the shit out of me, like, thank you. Thank you. Like, honestly, thank you. Because you've made me stronger, like, you've made me realise who I am. I just hope that you're doing well, and I wish you all the best. I honestly do hope you have a really good life. So I'm going to end this video here, and I really hope that I've covered everything. I don't want to keep creating this shitty content that means nothing. Like, if I can make a difference, if I can make a change, if I can use my voice and, you know, make someone feel a little bit more not alone, why not? Thank you so much for watching my video. It means so much to me. Originally, bye!